Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. I hope everyone is doing well. Now, with everything so up in the air with the blank game week 18, I thought we'd take a look ahead to the double game week 19. I know many people are thinking about hitting that wild card before the double game week 19. So today we're going to look at potential draft template for that game week. If you're new around here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Hit the like button if you do enjoy the video, and let's get straight on into this one. So firstly, the way I've kind of built this draft, this template, is with a budget of 101 to 102 million. I feel like that is a fair representation of what most FPL managers kind of have at their disposal. Also, I've just got the FPL website open here because we're going to be doing a lot of tinkering. There's no kind of one base kind of I'm going to give you this team and this is 100% the team you should go for. We're going to be doing a lot of tinkering, a lot of discussion around certain options. However, I am going to put in 6 players to start with who I think are must-haves in this team. So let's start with the midfield. And firstly, we're going to go with De Bruyne. I mean, you can probably guess what players are going to be in here. For the first 3 midfielders, we're going to lob in De Bruyne, we're going to lob in Salah, and we're going to lob in Bruno Fernandes. Now, there's a lot of people thinking maybe Salah is now kind of not essential after he's had a few blank game weeks. But I just think for me, 2 home games, Manchester United and Burnley, not the best fixtures in terms of scoring goals, but also not the worst. And I just think that Salah this season has been such a good FPL asset. After a couple of game weeks, after a couple of blanks even, there's no reason to necessarily take him out. Now looking at the defenders, the must-have defenders in my opinion, I'm going to put in João Cancelo. He's been so good for Manchester City so far this season. He has the highest expected returns or expected attacking returns, out of any defender in the Premier League, and part of a Manchester City side that's keeping many clean sheets. And also he looks like he's pretty much got his spot nailed on. I mean, if you look, he's only actually been rotated out for 1 game, this Burnley game here. In all the other games, apart from obviously before game week 3 when he wasn't actually playing, he has started and played a full 90 minutes. So I think João Cancelo looks like a great option. And also if we're looking at Manchester City's fixtures after the double game week, they also look very good. For the second defender spot, we're going to put in Soufal, Kufal, however you want to say it. Don't really know how it's pronounced, but I see a lot of people going with Soufal. West Ham's fixtures in this double game week are absolutely unbelievable, and I think a defensive West Ham asset is very key to this game. You could go Creswell if you have a little bit more money. Ogbonna also has a decent amount of attacking threat from sort of set pieces, scoring goals. But I think if you're going to go for out of the 2, if you've got the money, go for Creswell. But I also think Soufal looks like a really good option. And then finally, the 6th player who I think is essential for this game week is Patrick Bamford. Leeds have looked so good going forward this season, and Bamford is a really key part of that. He's gone up 1.1 million price, which kind of shows you his ownership, how much has gone up, and you'll stand to lose out a lot if Bamford does do well in this game week. They're playing against 2 teams in Southampton and Brighton that they definitely can score on against, and in every single game they look very good and like they're going to attack. So now we've got a kind of base, kind of almost starting to build up a bit of a template there. Now we're going to move on to the goalkeeper, I think should be in net. Now I'm going to go with Martinez, probably the highest owned goalkeeper at the minute, and the goalkeeper who I think is going to be the highest scoring. Even at 5 mil, I think he offers great value, and I think a lot of you will have him in there, sort of bought him for 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, whatever. I think Martinez is a great goalkeeper, and now that he has a double fixture, yes, it's not ideal that it is against Everton and Manchester City. You never know. Everton haven't really been scoring too many goals of late, so he could pick up a clean sheet there, and he could also pick up some save points at Manchester City. And Aston Villa have been really good defensively this season, and I think going on after the double game week, Martinez looks like a great keeper and probably will be the highest scoring goalkeeper for the rest of this season. Now with the second goalkeeper, you could do rotating goalkeepers like I've seen a few people do, maybe bring in Johnson for West Brom, but for now the main strategy is have a main goalkeeper and a former goalkeeper. So we're just going to lob in Macy there. One thing I will say with your sub goalkeeper or your second goalkeeper, whatever it is, make sure that player doesn't play for a club that you're actually going to plan on using. I'm having the trouble in my team at the minute that I brought in Nyland, and I've quite fancied a triple up on Aston Villa at some point this season, but I've not been able to do so because that 3rd spot is filled up by my former goalkeeper. So be wary of that and try and pick them from a team that you don't really think you're going to be bringing in players from, like the likes of Fulham, West Brom and so on. Now taking a look at the rest of the defence, who the kind of other differential players are who have good double game weeks and good fixtures after that. And talking of a player, I mean, I think Eric Bailly has been wonderfully good for Manchester United since his return. Him him and Maguire look like a very, very strong partnership. It seems as though he's kind of nipped in the place of Lindelof at that centre-back spot, at least for the league anyway. We did see Lindelof playing the cup matches, but I mean, we take a look here at Manchester United's fixtures, and they have Liverpool away, Fulham away. I mean, not necessarily predicting them to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, but against Fulham they stand a good chance. And then from here until here, I mean, as kind of defensive fixtures go, playing at Sheffield United ain't the worst. You know, Arsenal, Southampton, Everton, probably not the best, but then you kind of get through those fixtures hoping you'll maybe get a clean sheet, and then you get West Brom and Newcastle, which look like good defensive fixtures. Then we've got 2 more defensive spots to go, and I really do like the spot of Dallas. I almost put him into my kind of essentials spot for this week, because I just think he's going to be very highly owned, maybe more highly owned than Soufal. The only reason I did it is because he's going to be relying more on his attacking returns than Leeds being able to keep clean sheets against Brighton and Southampton, both sides who've been able to score goals this season. So he really would be relying on those attacking returns. I myself am actually planning on potentially doing a double up in the Leeds defence. So, you know, you can play it how you want, but I think Dallas is a very, very good option. Now for the final defensive spot, we're going to go with my main man, Tyrick Mitchell. He's a player who's really kind of come into favour now with Roy Hodgson. Having watched a lot of Palace, I mean, I'm a Palace supporter, having watched a lot of Palace, when Van Aanholt plays in that team, we're nowhere near as defensively solid. When Mitchell is playing in there, he looks so much more solid, and with Eze in the side as well, not being able to kind of cover back as much as the likes of Slup does, I think Mitchell is more likely to play in the Premier League now. And so for 3.9 million, he offers really, really good value for a potentially starting player, a player that who potentially will be starting week in, week out now. And he also does, after the double game week, have very, very good fixtures, running down to about game week 26. This is more of a long-term pick, but also just kind of a budget option that offers a bit of a differential when you kind of need him to come on. And that is another big point. You want to have players in your team who are playing, so that, you know, if you get cancelled fixtures due to COVID, you have players who can come off the bench. And I think Mitchell is the best kind of cheap defender that offers that right now. Now moving into the midfield spot, we're going to bring in... The thing is, this is a tough one for me, because I know he doesn't have a double game week fixture, but I think he is so good, and he was so close to being in my differential spot for this game week. He's actually gone up in price. Maybe people not getting the memo, or maybe he's gone up in price before the Aston Villa COVID outbreak, but that's very unfortunate for plenty FPL managers. But yeah, I mean, he's so highly owned, and also has quite good fixtures as well. With how clinical this main man Son is, I think he should be in there. Although he's only got a single game week for the double game week 19, Sheffield United away is a wonderful fixture for that game week. So I think, you know, if you really, really want to have a full squad of double game week players, then, you know, you could potentially look to bring in someone like Sterling, who does have a double game week, or even Rashford for the same price. And then you do Rashford to Son after that. That doesn't look too bad, or just maintain Rashford. However, I do think that Son does look a very good option, and is also a very good player going forward from the double game 19. Now the 5th defender spot, and, you know, a player that some people may think is essential. I don't particularly think this guy's essential, simply because he is an enabler. After the double game week, you aren't really going to be playing him. He's a very good player to kind of have as a first sub on the bench, and that is Souček. We see here he's got Burnley at home, at West Brom at home. He's been scoring, and he's been getting very good attacking returns. And the thing about Souček is, when he scores, he brings in the bonus points, and also that if he gets a clean sheet point as well, he can actually haul. The thing that Souček does offer you is being so cheap in price. He can mean you can bolster up your teams in other areas. Whereas if you try to squeeze in another kind of more premium option like Rashford, or even like Grealish, you may not have enough money to kind of go around the team. So I think Souček for the double game week looks good, and is also a good player going on after that, just to sit first spot on your bench. Now we come to the striker spots, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about these kind of striker spots and who we could potentially put in here. So first of all, let's just get the third striker out of the way, and that is Brewster, the 4.5 mil bench volley. He's going to be third on your bench every single time. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's been picking up kind of 1-2 pointers throughout most of the season. So third on the bench, 4.5 million. That is absolutely fine. It may one day manage to pick up his first goal. Who knows? But then for the third striker spot, this is a spot that I've really been pondering. You could, if you want to, go for someone like Ollie Watkins. I don't think that he looks too bad of an option. And this third striker spot is also a little bit dependent on how much money you do have. Obviously, we do actually have a team here with Cancelo, Soufal, Bailly, Dallas, De Bruyne, Salah, Fernandes, Son, Souček and Bamford, you can play those 11. All those 11 are playable for the double game week 19 and are very good. So this third striker spot, you kind of have to decide, is it a player I want for after double game week 19? Is it a player that I want to play for the double game week 19? Or is it just another kind of bench fodder player? So if you want another bench fodder player, I go with the likes of Christian Benteke. He's got himself starting in that Crystal Palace side and likely to continue on doing so. Similar price, Fabio Silva for Wolves. These are kind of your budget bench options for strikers. Then if we go a little bit higher than that, you've got the likes of Ollie Watkins, Chris Wood for the double game week. They don't look too bad. Ollie Watkins obviously has some tough fixtures, but then after the double game week is very, very playable. And then if you have a little bit more money, you can upgrade to the likes of Danny Ings or Lacazette. Lacazette does only have one kind of double game week fixture, but has been on some very good form lately. I really do like Danny Ings though. For the double game week, he plays against Leicester and Leeds. You could, he's shown, having scored against Liverpool, having got 2 assists against Chelsea, that he can do anything against any team. Leicester have conceded goals this season, and Leeds have shipped goals all throughout the season. So I really, really like Danny Ings for the double game week. And with this team, you have a lot of choice. You have a lot of choice for the double game week, and you have a lot of choice moving on from the double game week. Dallas, for me, is a player that I'm personally going to be playing for kind of up until game week 27, 30. I'm going to be playing him every single game, because to get him for 4.8 million with the attacking returns that he does have, the fixtures he has, they could easily keep clean sheets, and I think he's a great option. Then with Cancelo, you're kind of going to be a stud in the team. Bailly as well, great fixtures going on then forward, and then Souček allowing you that great bench option. Brewster just on the bench as well, Mitchell as well. I think this is quite a well kind of all-rounded team. The only thing you can maybe do is have rotating goalkeepers, just in case Aston Villa, with all the COVID problems that they have been having, have a rotatable keeper with Martinez, just in case Martinez doesn't play, because Aston Villa players have COVID. The thing with Son I would like to mention as well is, you're holding through the double game week fixtures with a single game week player. Sheffield United, great fixture, but if this game against Aston Villa goes and gets cancelled, they already have 2 games against Fulham that are backlogged after that. So we're going to see potentially, double game weeks, triple game weeks come up for Spurs. So I think holding a Spurs asset just in case they have a double game week, you don't need to snap, players out of your team to bring in Spurs players, because you will want to bring in Spurs players for the double game weeks, especially if they're against Fulham. I think it's a good idea. I hope you have enjoyed this quick little look at a sort of game week 19 template wildcard draft. There's a lot of options that you can go in there. There's kind of a 6-7 player template that I've tried to get in there. I think most people will go into the game week with, or that I personally think you should go into the game week with. If you have any other thoughts, do let me know down in the comments below. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you did enjoy the video, and I will catch you later. See ya.